Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Anthony Carboni.
You're joining us as guest.
Hello.
This is so exciting.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
you know, we
thank
in the roundup we're talking about a little bit about Star Wars. I don't know if you guys know this, but Anthony hosts a Star Wars show. So we keep trying to like get juicy information, and he's like a freaking vault. It's
I legally cannot participate in that roundup, and if I did, I think there are snipers with mouse ears on like every rafter, just waiting for me to slip up.
We're hearing this a lot. So news though, we have that as well, and that is in this case. Did the creator of Oculus Rift just get fired from his own company? Maybe.
Palmer Luckey, the guy who built the OG Rift in his parents' garage, has stepped down from his position at Facebook, the company that now owns his creation.
Luckey, who just a few years ago was the public face of virtual reality in the media, has become somewhat of a controversial figure in recent years. He was the focus of a major lawsuit, and his image took a pretty significant hit last year after a scandal involving his connection to it was a meme shitposting group, is I think specifically what it was that he was funding.
Between that and being on the greatest magazine cover of all time, it was just like not a great year for him.
Yes, there was an awful lot.
His departure from Facebook could be another sign that the social networking giant is taking more control over Oculus. Facebook has already shaken up the management of the company, and Luckey was one of the last of the original team to go.
The story of Luckey's departure was first reported by Upload VR, which got a statement from Oculus today saying Palmer will be dearly missed. Palmer's legacy extends far beyond Oculus. His inventive spirit helped kickstart the modern VR revolution and helped build an industry. We're thankful for everything he did for Oculus and VR, and we wish him all the best. And then it's probably like, goodbye.
Yeah, that's a very political and well-written form letter from a corporation.
We can confirm he worked here.
But it's not clear if Luckey's departure from Facebook was voluntary, which is, I think, what we were just hinting at about that.
A little bit, yes.
What we're saying is we're not sure whether he quit or was fired. Facebook representatives declined to comment, saying they would not discuss internal personnel matters.
Now, what we do know is that Luckey's definitely taken a back seat as far as Oculus matters go in the last 12 months or so. He really zipped it.
Yeah. He hasn't tweeted in almost 6 months, and he was completely absent from last October's Oculus Connect Developer Conference. So while Luckey had been a major presence at previous Oculus conferences, it was Facebook's CEO Mark Zuckerberg that took the stage last year to show off the company's progress in VR, which was mostly like VR Hulk hands and weird busts of Beethoven, if I remember correctly.
I mean, who doesn't want like VR Hulk hands though? Let's be honest.
I just want real Hulk hands.
True.
That's all I want.
Just get some of those sweet gloves from the Target Kids section.
I want real, misshapen, gigantic Hulk hands.
Oh, that.
That's what I want.
We can probably make that happen. We just have to slam your hands in a couple things.
Okay. That sounds logical.
Easily doable.
Easily doable. Still, Luckey's departure marks the end of a really significant chapter in the life of Oculus, as well as virtual reality as a whole.
Now, starting when he was a teenager, Luckey was designing headsets in his parents' garage. His 6th generation unit was called the Rift, and he eventually launched a super successful Kickstarter campaign to fund its development. That got the interest of John Carmack, the famed developer behind games like Doom and Quake, who requested a headset and used it to demonstrate a modified version of Doom 3 at E3 in 2012.
Carmack's involvement helped put the Rift on the map, and the Kickstarter campaign ultimately raised $2.4 million. Oculus VR, the company behind the Rift, was eventually purchased by Facebook for $2 billion in 2014, and Luckey became the public face of VR gaming. That's 2 Instagrams.
Yeah, 2 Instagrams.
Can you believe it?
That's, I mean, and you know, it's crazy to me to think that it started at 2.4 million and then goes into the billions. Like, that's a huge valuation increase in such a short period of time.
Absolutely.
But it is also, you know, I get it, birth of an industry and all that. Luckey's never
There isn't even that much porn yet. How is it already worth $2.4 billion when VR porn isn't even all that great yet?
Yeah, it's like it needs to make a...
This is what they call a bubble. That's what that means.
It's gonna burst. Luckey's never actually commented on what exactly he earned from the whole Facebook deal out of that $2+ billion, but Forbes estimated his net worth at $730 million. So
he could buy shoes.
He can probably afford
He could buy shoes, but he's not doing it. Okay. But the Rift, like so many tech breakthroughs, has had its share of controversy. ZeniMax Media, the game publisher who Carmack used to work for, sued Facebook shortly after it acquired Oculus, saying that the Rift was built on stolen technology.
So the suit stated that ZeniMax invested several years and tens of millions of dollars into VR tech research that was led by Carmack, who was running id Software at the time. And id is a subsidiary of ZeniMax.
Right, so according to the suit, Carmack hooked up with Luckey during this process.
In like a social way. Not like
much
a
like the letter from
way.
Facebook, it does not give any more detail. Hooked up in whatever way you feel. Whatever subreddit you belong to, whatever /fiction you like to write.
You do you.
You do you. We're not saying it, but you can say whatever you want. According to the suit, Carmack hooked up with Luckey during this process, and the two used some of ZeniMax's proprietary technology to improve the Rift and make it a functional and commercially viable product.
ZeniMax also said Luckey didn't have the expertise to develop the Rift, stating that Luckey increasingly held himself out to the media and the public as the visionary developer of the Rift's VR technology, which had actually been developed by ZeniMax without Luckey's involvement.
Shots fired, man.
Dude, that entire lawsuit was kind of fun to read because every single lawyer was just going all in on the snark.
It was very intense. And then it ended on February 1st when a jury decided that Oculus had not stolen any trade secrets, but the jury did rule that Luckey failed to comply with a non-disclosure agreement that he signed with ZeniMax. So Oculus and its co-founders Luckey and Brendan Uribe were ordered to pay ZeniMax $500 million as a result of copyright infringement and false designation.
Which was like a quarter of what they were actually going for, but still, you get $500 million bucks, that's cool.
Still half an Instagram. Everything is measured in Instagrams.
That's how we keep track. It's no WhatsApps though. Uribe himself stepped down from the Oculus lead position in December in a management shakeup. That was kind of a sign at the time that Oculus as a company was moving more and more under the management of Facebook, and many wondered what kind of role Luckey would have moving forward. It looks like now got an answer.
Luckey's reputation at Facebook had already taken a hit after reports surfaced that he had donated $10,000 to a pro-Trump PAC called Nimble America. The group was associated with the Donald Trump subreddit and had once run a billboard campaign accusing Hillary Clinton of being too big to jail.
That news caused some developers to drop support of Oculus in their projects as long as Luckey was still affiliated with the company. It was kind of a whole big mess in general.
Yeah, after the controversy broke, Luckey went onto Facebook and said, "I am deeply sorry that my actions are negatively impacting the perception of Oculus and its partners."
So, pretty safe to say that Luckey had kind of become a public relations liability for Facebook, who obviously don't want any controversy possibly hurting the Rift because that makes the dollars go down and they don't like that.
Right, and VR has become a pretty crowded field since Luckey was building headsets in his parents' garage. These days, its competitors include HTC's Vive and the PSVR headsets, not to mention Google's Daydream View, so they really can't afford any bad press right now.
Right. The last thing they need is to be the black sheep of the industry. And it looks like all that competition's caught up with the Oculus. According to Super Data research, by the end of 2016, the Oculus Rift was projected to sell just over 355,000 units. That's less than pretty much all the competition. The HTC Vive actually sold 420,000 units. Google Daydream sold 450,000 units, although that one is at a much lower price point, so it's not as surprising. But PSVR beat them all, selling 2.6 million units.
That came out of nowhere.
It really did. I mean, I figured that they had a great chance because it was an easier setup. It was seated, so people don't have to have a whole lot of room to experience it. It had the benefit of being under Sony, who can build both hardware, and in fact, they'd been doing VR headsets for years and years and years.
Yeah, head-mounted displays have been their thing for a while.
They were just like private TVs, and so they just took that and adapted a lot of that technology. Plus, they also own software developers to properly support the headset, and so it's really not.
And you don't need to build a big PC. That's the biggest thing. Is the box is already there. So this is not about how much I love PSVR. It's not about that. This is about Palmer Luckey. Sorry, go on.
No, it's fine.
No,
okay,
it's cool.
Great. So in addition, Super Data
it's
said
real good though.
that Samsung Gear VR, which is built in collaboration with Oculus, sold 2.3 million units. So not all bad news.
Right. Oculus's future is still up in the air, but with Facebook backing it, it's definitely got some deep pockets. Meanwhile, it's not clear what Luckey's future will hold, but we do know that it won't involve Oculus.
Or shoes, probably, but
no
lots
shoes,
and lots
no
of
Oculus, no service.
What do you guys think of Palmer Luckey leaving Facebook? Is this end of an era? Did he have to go? Do you think it's going to affect the product? Do you care? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Also let us know if you think my no shirt, no shoes thing was like the worst dad joke you've ever heard.
It was, but we have a lot of dads here in the office, so we're used to it.
Good. And for all of your VR news, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
Make sure you smash that like button.
Smash that like button! What's up?
What's up, Internet?
What's up, Internet? Smash that like button! Subscribe! Hit that share!
Wait, how is this?
What's that dude's name?
Once again,
No, the one with the shoes. What's his name?
Yeah, the one that knows how to wear clothes.